This episode of the Submerged Podcast is brought to you by Monsoon Aquatics.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Submerged Podcast, deep dives and Aussie vibes. My name's Jared, and I've got both Sams with me again today. How are we, fellas?
Very good, thank you.
Good, thanks, Jared. Yourself?
Good, mate. I'm doing well.
That's
Thank you very much.
Nice.
We'll get straight into trivia because
Straight into trivia.
it's
Keen.
the highlight of my week when I get these monsoon questions thrown at me. And all last season, I was used to kind of doing it myself. So being on the other side of it's been great. So
Yeah.
Nice.
So I've gone away from the true false just for a couple of weeks, I think, just to make them
Ooh,
Cool.
making it
a
harder.
little bit harder for you guys.
Okay.
Yep.
And Brooke from up in Monsoon Aquatics
Mhm,
gave me a little
mhm.
bit of unreleased article information about
Oh.
something coming out in a magazine shortly. So I've pulled some pieces out, and I think,
Jeez.
So I'm going to go with
It's
two
okay.
questions today. Are we ready for them?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. All right. In 2025, approximately how many countries did Monsoon Aquatics ship to?
2025.
Yeah, including Australia. So more than one.
Approximately. I was going to say approximately suggests that it's a decently high number. All right, I'll go 30.
What do you reckon, Jared?
Go with like my old faithful, just half of what Sam says. I'll go 15.
All right. I'm going to have to go close to here because it is an approximate number. So the correct answer is 27 countries.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, which is
That's a
insane
good
to me.
number.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam, you're very close.
Yeah. I'm surprised at how close I was.
Yeah, you shouldn't have halved it,
I'll
Jared.
take that.
You should plus minus Sam by one, I reckon.
Next time.
Okay, well, you can maybe with this one. Okay, so across both Monsoon Aquatics facilities, how many staff members work at Monsoon Aquatics? And this includes like packers, collectors, divers, the whole team. How many as of now?
This would be hard
Yeah.
because like you know of the people kind of that put their face to the company and stuff, but there's so many behind the scenes, I reckon.
I'm going to let you guess first, Jared.
I'll say 40 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, yeah. All right, I'll go up a bit. I'll go 50.
Would you believe it? It's 45. So you guys actually did quite well there. There's a perfect split,
Yeah.
40 and 50.
That's a pretty-
I'll go point
Pretty
eight.
good guesses. Yeah,
We've
nice.
done that before.
We have. Yeah.
Down the middle,
Yeah,
yeah.
honestly,
Same wavelength.
when I read that, I was like 45, and then I started to unpack how many staff members they've got doing all the roles, and I was like, that makes sense. But it's still a
Yes.
lot. Imagine trying to logistically manage that.
Good
Yeah.
Christmas party.
Yeah,
It is.
how
We
good.
might need to invite ourselves to one.
just rock up and be like, we're your 3 new staff members. We make 48.
Yeah. If they sponsor us, we get an invite, right?
Obviously.
Yeah. I think that was in it, wasn't
Part of the package
Yeah,
deal, I
yeah.
think. Yeah.
Has to be.
it?
Yeah.
How good. Good job, guys. You smashed that trivia again.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
I got
surprised myself.
I've got some harder ones coming though, and I mean it this time.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
I thought they were hard. I just got lucky.
yeah,
So
okay, cool.
don't make them too hard.
Yeah,
They were pure guesses from me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I can't say that I've thrown any knowledge at that. It's just a guess. So, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that gave me half an idea was when you said approximate number. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, it's not going to be 3 then. It's going to be a couple dozen at least.
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I should have maybe taken that word out then. Exactly how many?
To the nearest 5.
Yeah, good job.
While we're at it, we'll say a quick hello to Rainbow Crackhead the dog as well.
Yeah. slash
Rainbow
Chico.
Crackhead / Chico / I heard a rumor something about Blossom, but that doesn't sound right.
Doesn't suit.
No, definitely not. No. That's
For
brilliant.
anyone who missed that, go back to the last episode to find out what we're talking about.
Or
But yeah,
or go on the monsoon page and look what was posted. The video is absolute cracker by Juno.
yeah, that was excellent.
Yeah, so good.
Had me in stitches laughing at that.
Great.
So before we get too far into the episode, we're going to mention again, Aquaculture Kings have come into the next 4 episodes to do a prize pack giveaway. And we've actually got Mariah in behind the scenes tonight running the contest. So on Instagram at the moment, we have it's 8:10 p.m. here in Sydney, and we have people answering a question that we've thrown at them till 9 p.m. Then it will close, and we pick a lucky winner out of those people who have answered the correct question. So, bit of fun. At the end of this episode, we'll reveal the winner.
Yeah,
which is
the first winner, right? The first of many.
The first. Well, that's the thing. If you're hearing this for the first time and you're not aware of our socials, you've missed out on the first giveaway by the time this goes to air, because we'll have picked it and we'll actually announce the winner at the end of this episode. But Aquaculture Kings, the guys have been that generous. We've got another 3 prizes across the next 3 episodes. Or 3 episodes, or the next few weeks.
The next 3 episodes.
Next 3 episodes.
And 3 more.
Yeah,
so 4 packs in total.
Yeah.
Even if this is the first you've heard of it and you didn't know we had Instagram or Facebook, you've still got 3 chances to win.
Yeah, get on it.
And I did the math on it as well, and these packs are over $200, like near $300 a pack. So
it's a good prize.
Decent bit of gear, especially considering it's 4 people. So hopefully, well, not hopefully, someone will win this tonight.
Hopefully, someone commented.
Yeah. I've been watching. There's already 30 or 40 people that have thrown a message in there. So
nice.
Hey.
Yeah, bit of fun. So we'll come back to that at the end of the episode and reveal the winner. But for now, we'll get stuck into the episode. And
let's do it.
Episode today is fish.
Yeah.
Once again. Sam Parker, you and I and Hadley, we went over this, the volume 1 of this.
We had a crack,
And man, I got some flack from some friends on my list of fish. And
it may have been me, actually, Joe.
It was you amongst 30 others. So it is the reason why we are going back to discussing it. I guess.
To revisit it.
Yeah,
I don't think we gave its full attention that it deserves, and I thought we'd also probably go down a slightly different path with it as well, because I guess we just kind of went through groups of fish, named them off, and that's about it.
It's kind of like a full length trivia episode where we just saw how many fish in each sort of variety we could name.
Yeah, and you did give it a good crack.
Yeah.
We gave it a good crack.
The other category had hundreds of fish in it, so you guys did well.
Yeah,
this is true.
It's got thousands, realistically, but
we really only skimmed the surface.
Yeah.
So the way that we'll break up this episode is we'll talk a little bit about fish that are great to start with. Some fish that might be good for like a nano tank or something. If you're setting up something that's like a size of a swimming pool, what might fit in that better?
Oh yeah.
Stuff maybe to avoid even because we've had issues with them. But so we'll go over different types of groups, not so much the different subspecies and stuff like that, but more so where we think that these fish might fit in. So
sounds good to me.
The first that we'll go through is because last episode was all about newbies, new hobbyists getting into the hobby. So I thought, what better way to start is what are some of the best starting fish for like if you're going to set up an aquarium tomorrow, you're brand new to the hobby. What are the first few fish that you're looking at?
So many options. I mean, I always start with a pair of clownfish, and I know people are either 100% for it or almost 100% against it. There's no on the fence. People think that clowns are either iconic and you cannot not have them, or people think they're super cliche and it's the last thing you'd want to put in the tank. That's fine. But if you're one of the prior category, it's the perfect fish to start with. They're affordable, they're non-aggressive, they're relatively hardy. They're not super finicky or difficult to get feeding.
Especially if they're captive bred, even better.
Spot on. Yeah. You've got a great range of ones to pick from with places like Coastal Clowns doing, I should remember the trivia question, but the number of varieties that they breed. And then every one of those different varieties have got little idiosyncrasies between them all as well. So you've got layers upon layers of different clownfish. But I think the most important thing is that they're, unless you try to add more clownfish after them, any other fish doesn't really bother them. So from a hierarchy point of view of not backing yourself into a corner and putting the first fish as an Achilles or something in your tank, and then everything else you put in there he wants to destroy. From that perspective, it's a great first fish because you don't have to work out your entire fish list just yet. You know, you want clowns, put them in, work out the rest later.
Yeah, I would agree because all the tanks that I've set up saltwater wise, the first fish I always have put in every single tank is a pair of clowns. Yeah, you're so right. Usually they're fairly hardy and they eat well straight in the tank and they're just good. Like they interact. They're just, and I guess everyone has that. Oh, Finding Nemo, they have that. They want to see it in their tank. That's the goal for some people.
Absolutely.
I think the mistake is they just immediately go to, I'm going to add an anemone with it. And then it's a little bit too fresh for a nem in the tanks. But yeah, I'd go with clowns as well as a great little beginner fish. Would probably be my first go-to.
Yeah. I'll agree with you both. It's definitely been probably a fish that I've added first on a number of tanks, and all your points are 100% valid. They're super hardy. They do quite well. They help kind of get things in the system. A bit of biome and everything. The only problem with them is they kind of inhabit one little corner of the tank for a couple of months, and even after you add a few other fish, they're still kind of in their little corner, not doing too much. But
definitely one of the downsides to them is that for the first fish put in the tank, they don't exactly fill it full of movement and colour and life. They tend to hover about a 5 centimetre square.
Yeah. And if they're captive bred and you put them in your tank and then you add a second fish that they've never seen in their entire life, they even more so go in that corner for a little bit, don't they? Just go and hide.
Understandable.
I think they do everything for you, right? Like they're iconic. They're super colourful. Like like if you get a perk or an Ockie or something like that, the orange on them there's not much like that colour variant out there. You can get some great designers and stuff, all different kinds to kind of suit you, but. Yeah, I think they just tick every box for me, and I've never ever lost a pair of clownfish that have gone in first, and if anything, they're some of the last fish I've had in tanks as well. Like they go in first, they come out last. So
they're in for the long haul.
I guess. Well, how old was the longest captive clownfish? That was a question.
2 years.
Yeah.
Maroon.
Yeah,
female.
Crazy.
I went to a local fish shop here in Melbourne that's got a pair of clownfish in the display that's 37 years in captivity. Yeah, and they're still laying.
Yeah,
they're just standard Ockies as well.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. And that's also good about adding the clownfish because obviously when they do reach adulthood, they very easily do lay in the tank, obviously.
Yeah.
As the episode of Clownfish with breeding with Matt Bates had discussed, it's not easy to breed them and you can't just do it, but it's cool to see them lay and you can see the little eggs in the tank and then they do become free fish food for the rest of the fish. But yeah,
happy days.
win.
Yeah.
I was just going to add to that because clownfish were always my first, but I always have a soft spot for like little gobies and blennies as like a very first style of fish. So like a firefish goby, all the varieties of colours they come in, or even something like a blenny, like a lawnmower blenny or something along those lines.
Yep. I was going to ask both of you guys, I mean, we all sort of universally agreed on clownfish, but if you were not able to put clownfish in, what would be your first fish?
For me personally, Royal Grammar.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Nice
just
fish.
love them.
If I'm setting up a tank with live rock or established rock, it'd definitely be something like a 6-line wrasse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, smart.
In
Yeah, okay.
first.
Just to start picking on, grazing on,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it can find as well. Like I've had great success with 6-line. I know a lot of people say
Yeah.
that.
I was going to say you've obviously not had a bad experience with the 6-line if you would recommend that
I
first.
really haven't. No,
Yeah,
I really
that's fair. I
haven't.
must admit, neither have I, but I've never had one, I don't think.
I've had a number of them, and I've had issues with all of them. So yeah,
It's straight
I'm the
great,
opposite,
not so
Jared.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
I always buy them as tiny as I can get, like,
Yeah, okay.
thumbnail size, like
Yeah.
tiny. And like actually the water box, I think the 6-line was one of the first, if not the first, one of the first fish in there.
Yeah.
And it was tiny, and it's now a good size, like it's the size of my pinky now, so it's a good size.
Nice.
But yeah, I just find that they just do so much work. They just never stop. There's a bit of color for them. They're a little bit cryptic sometimes, and if you get a good one, they kind of.
This is the
blend
double-edged
in.
sword, isn't it? There's
It is.
so much good about the 6-line. Like, they're a beautiful fish. They're very affordable. They do a huge complementary job in the tank of cleaning pests and things and keeping all the surfaces nice and clean. But they can just be a prick.
Yeah.
And if you get one that's not a prick, it's the best fish ever. It's bulletproof. It's cheap. Does such a good job. It's stunning. But if it is a prick, not so good.
Yeah.
But I like also going back to that, like if it wasn't the 6-line, it'd probably be something maybe like a bristle-tooth tang.
Yeah.
Because
That's a good call.
how much work that they do. You go through
they
that
don't
ugly
stop, do
stage.
they?
They'll just keep grazing, but it's a tang. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
at any moment you add another tang, it could be,
Ding, ding, ding. Round one.
exactly
Yeah,
right.
it could be. But they are, bristle-tooth tang are so good at obviously destroying algae and cleaning up your rocks. So straight after a recently established tank, like you said, Jared's going to have that ugly phase. They'll sort that out real quick. So yeah, another great utilitarian fish.
Definitely.
I guess also talking about fish that are great to start with, what's some recommendations on thing to probably fish to steer clear from?
To start a tank?
Yeah, just to start like it. Yeah.
Yep. I would steer clear of fish that, and I know it's one of the topics we will look at, but finicky eaters.
Yeah.
Although if you are, to be honest, if you are dead set on a finicky eater and it's a finicky eater that will eat prepared foods, it's not something like a mandarin that needs a copepod population, which you shouldn't start with a mandarin. That's obviously not a great idea. But if it's a fish that eats prepared foods but is quite finicky at eating those prepared foods, maybe you could go with it as the first fish because it's got no competition and to get a bit of comfortability in the tank and go from there. But I don't know. I'd always steer clear of a finicky eater to start with. And I guess for me, it's more around aggression. I would be really hesitant on putting any sort of fish that has remotely any chance of being aggressive.
Yeah.
If you are wanting to put other fish in after it. Like if you want to have a reef tank with a damsel in it and that's all you want, go for gold. Load that damsel in and have a good time. If you want to put any other fish in after it, damsel's not what I'd recommend.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Damsels. I feel like a lot of people getting into the hobby see them because they are, they're
beautiful.
incredibly, bright and beautiful. They're
a stunning fish.
They're a good size in the shop. They do get massive, but they, well, not massive, but they get large.
Yes.
But they are super territorial, super aggressive, and a lot of people don't realize that, or they use it to cycle their tank. I feel like that's a bit of a no-go as well. But those
it's their price point that hurts them. I think.
Yeah.
They're such a cheap fish because I guess there's not a huge market for them. They're not overly desirable,
and you can collect them by the thousands.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they're relatively easy to collect. Not a huge market for them. They're beautiful, so that makes them cheap. Fairly bulletproof, really. Like they will kill everything else, but not much can hurt a damsel. And they're stunning. They come in a range of colors. They're incredible fish, but they're just pricks.
Yeah.
A lot of the small ff are for some weird reason. Like they've got small man syndrome.
Small man syndrome, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, they live and breathe at those damsels.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nasty.
My recommendation to steer clear of is, or at least at the beginning, is maybe anything that's going to sift sand.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Yeah, on a fresh tank.
Yeah, on a fresh tank, your sand just doesn't have what these fish are wanting, are needing. They constantly graze and filter the food out of the sand, and if there's just nothing in that sand, they're just not going to last. And
yeah, great call.
Yeah,
I've seen it happen a lot.
A lot of the sand sifters don't even do well in established mature tanks because they do feed on so much that obviously the end result is them starving. So in a fresh tank, it's even more chance of them starving. So good. Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Next one we have here is best as a single species. So if you're going to keep a fish, a system, and you only want a single fish, where would you lead someone towards? Or if you're going to have a tank with lots of fish, but you don't want any pairs, what's some fish that you would recommend?
I don't want to harp on old mate Damsel, but he's a great single species fish. If you do only want to have one species of fish and the damsels are what you like, you put a school of damsels in and they look stunning. However, they don't give you the biggest variety in life. Like the damsels, I find they don't have a huge personality. So I don't know, you might lean away from it, but it works well. The one other one I'll throw in there at the other end of the scale for bigger tanks, that's another fish that I classify as bit of a prick, is a Picasso trigger. Every one of them I've seen, I love them. They're a gorgeous looking fish, but they are just the biggest prick of a fish. They just want to fight with everyone. Even with other triggers, they'll bite them and stuff. I'm like, just leave them alone. But they're just mongrel of a fish.
On that same note, for a larger tank, probably more predatory, I guess you could call it. But there's a lot of predator fish that are great that could be by themselves because they don't eat everything. But the one that comes to mind, not so predatory, is like, the porcupine puffer or something that's kind of has that personality. And if it is obviously a sole fish in a large tank, then that would be suitable.
Yes.
Yeah.
That does remind me of like boxfish and like
cowfish.
Cowfish, ones like that, if they stress, they can release a toxin that just wipes everything out. I don't know. Do you guys know? Are they immune to that toxin themselves?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I would
it'd be silly if they weren't.
Yeah.
It'd be silly if you're like, I'll get all you guys, I'll release this toxin, it'll wipe me out too. But I don't.
Got ya.
A kamikaze pilot or something, yeah.
We're all going down together.
But it's only you in the tank. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are a cool fish. They're just high risk with that toxin.
Yeah. A few that I could think of was, so you've got some hawkfish that are great single species, like your long-nosed hawk. I know you can pair up a lot of the flame hawks and stuff like that, but they're a cool little fish that you only really need one of. They're like that one fish has so much great personality and stuff, and they tend to do a completely different thing to every other fish that you don't really need a school of them, and they just fight to the death anyway.
I've misinterpreted what you said about a single species. That makes much more sense now. I was thinking like if you could only have one type of fish in your tank, like
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but you're saying like you don't want to have pairs or a school. I get you. Right. Don't mind me.
The other one was also like it's considered a hawk anthea, is the sunburst anthea.
Oh, yep.
Can't keep them together. They don't live well in groups. So, it's a single species type thing. Only him and no one else. But now that you knew what I meant, does that change your answer at all?
The long-nosed hawk is a good one. Yeah, I love them and they're great in tanks. But yeah, even with other hawks, like even my long-nosed hawk spends a lot of his time chasing my flame hawk.
Yeah.
And they look nothing alike realistically. Like they both got red in them, but other than that, they're completely different shapes. But yeah, he really doesn't like him.
Yeah. I would say again,
also like your dotty backs.
Yeah, that's
your grammar. They're great too. Like you don't need you can't really have many of those in a tank. Probably one is it.
Doddybacks can be vicious, yeah.
Yeah, they can
Yeah,
be.
and even like when you're going different subspecies of doddybacks and stuff, they kind of don't really blend too well.
Sure.
I'd probably put the doddyback in that group of not good for a first fish too.
Yeah, great call.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're another one, much like the 6 line, where people have said, yeah, mine's model citizen perfectly fine, and others like, yeah, no, this one's just tear this tank apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The poor man's Royal Grammar, they call the neon doddyback, isn't it?
Yes.
Or is
and it still holds true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the neon or the splendid? Are they the same or different? You're talking about the half yellow, half purple?
Yeah, so that's still a
That's the
royal
ne-
doddyback, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Nice.
Neon's got it's blue and yellow, and the stripe
Yeah.
goes the other way. It's like a top and bottom color rather than a front and back color. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
They're a cool looking fish though, the neons.
Yeah. You don't see them
They're
all that
another
often.
one that's like not overly expensive. Like you can pick them up $40-50 type thing. And I think that's where a lot of people are like, oh yeah, $40-50, I'll throw one of them in my tank, not knowing that,
And look how small it is. He couldn't cause any trouble.
Yeah.
So then best in groups, what kind of fish do we want to see in larger groups that do better even in larger groups?
Definitely go for it, Phil. What do you got?
Yeah. Oh, I've always had a soft spot for blue-green chromis, and I feel like everyone at some point has had a large group of them. So that's probably the first one off the rank for me. They obviously do better in schools. The larger, the better, depending on the tank size. But
and when you say large, what sort of number are you talking about? Because everyone has a different impression of what a large school is.
So I always go odd numbers in a school.
Oh yeah.
Probably just something I read online, doesn't mean anything, but anyway. So, but I would say for a 4 foot, if you're getting small blue-green chromis, like 10, 11, 12.
Agreed.
I think that kind of number, I did add that exact number to my original 4 foot, which did fantastic for, I think it was about 6 years. Moved them across to a new tank with a new scape with less developed coral. So they filled up space and had hiding holes. And they did what many people talk about online, where they killed one off all the way down to the single last one of the biggest dominant one. And then that one jumped out of the tank.
Oh, the big dog jumped.
Yeah. But I still love them, even though they did that to me. And they do, when they feed, they're right at the front of the tank. They're in, Yeah, they're really cool.
I too love a blue-green chromis, and I think where they're most misunderstood is that people try to add like 3 or 5 to a tank and then go, oh, they pick each other off, they're terrible. And I'm like, you got to kind of go, to me, it's minimum a dozen, if not 2 dozen. And if that means you need to have a 6 foot plus bigger tank for them, then that's, to me, that's how they're going to work in a school. Otherwise, just get one, because otherwise you'll end up with one.
Yeah, exactly right.
So, yeah, I love them. They're a cool fish, but I think there's some caveats to them. Even though you can have one, you can have one in probably a 80-litre tank if you wanted to. But if you want to have long-term success with a school, if you want to have more than one, you really need to be talking 12, 18, 24, something like that.
Yeah.
Aren't
they funny how there's zero aggression to anything else in the tank but themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do not care about any other fish in the tank. They just want to fight and punch on with each other.
I wish I could say that. Mine now will punch on with anything. They're
Really?
up for the fight. Yeah.
Are they still the originals?
They are, yeah. I've had mine for, they'd be around 10 or more years now, and they're big chromis, and they are quite territorial. They will bicker with each other throughout the day, but at the sort of sunset hour, anyone that swims by them, it's basically like if you took a turn down a wrong alley. If anyone looks at these fish remotely sideways, it's on.
Really? Have they started laying at all, Sam?
Yeah, I think they have.
Yeah.
Because if I come out, or even during that sunset sort of hour, but if I come out a little bit later, you just see their little beady eyes looking at you from inside, deep inside acro colonies. So they're in there stripping flesh back and laying eggs.
That's probably where the aggression's coming from. Hey,
100%.
Yeah. It would definitely have something to do with the acro, because before you have any of that, it's just pure swim space, right? But then they eventually have a territory to kind of retreat into and stuff. So
definitely,
maybe where the aggression eventually.
No, I think you're spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, as they tend to do it deep in the sticks, like a lot of the fish can't really get to them. So, but, they're guarding this territory that no one else can reach. So, yeah, happy days.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember doing a lot of diving about 10 years ago in different places in the South Pacific, and there was this damsel species that I've totally forgotten, but what it did was it actually had a territory that it had laid out, but all it did was farm hair algae. So
Yeah, right.
it picked all the other bits of rubble, coral, whatever it was, killed the coral in the area, and it just grew algae. And it was like its little farm. It was so funny.
That's the refugium damsel.
Yeah. Oh, that might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think we might be onto something here.
Anything unwanted growing in your refugium.
That's funny.
I'll bring up the next. I think it's on the tip of everyone's tongue. Antheas, an excellent kind of fish in big groups, and I think very much same kind of rule as what we give to chromis. I think having 2 or 3 of them is always tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
certain types. I think there's stuff like your I said before the sunburst anthea probably best by itself. You get stuff like square blocks that maybe a trio is enough, but then when we start talking maybe about Dispar, Lyretail, Cooperi, all of those, 10 plus, I think maybe.
Plus, I think there's value there too in that, particularly antheas, a number of them have quite I believe it's a fast metabolism. I know they need to eat a little bit of food quite often. So my unqualified mind tells me that means they've got a high metabolism.
Yep.
And if you've got like 1 or 2 in the tank, you're probably unlikely to set up an auto feeder to drop a couple of pellets in 3 or 4 times a day. But if you've got 20 of them, you probably will set an auto feeder up or you'll be there to do it yourself. So I think if you have invested not just with your money, but your time and effort in a school of them, you're probably going to get a better success because you're caring for them the way they need to be cared for. Or if you've got 1 or 2, you tend to just try to make them fit into the schedule with all of your other fish that probably only need to be fed once a day.
Yeah, and that's true. Another downside I found with lyre-tails anyway that I've had experience with was ensuring that you have like a harem. You've got the one male and then, a group of females to go.
5+ females per male.
Yeah, because I've seen some nightmare stories of adding multiple males into smaller tanks and then they just beef. Or adding all females, and from my understanding, one of them turns and develops into
if you're lucky. The trouble with lyre-tails is that they'll quite often you'll have a dominant male, but you'll have a female that'll go sort of a little bit sitting on the fence. She'll become like the dominant female, and she'll challenge him for the ranks. And then they'll start fighting, and then one of them will win or lose, and then nothing stops the next one. So lyre-tails can be a bit of a mongrel like that. They just it's almost Game of Thrones. Everyone wants to sit on the Iron Throne. It's just no one's happy with their position. They all want the top.
That's true.
I found with all the antheas that I've kept, and I've actually dived in a little bit deeper with some research, and that they're a very, very timid fish in small numbers. They're like a safety in numbers type fish. So what you'll find is if you only have 2 or 3, they won't be out swimming and looking for food, and within the water column, they'll be, hiding a lot, and they just perish from there because they're not getting the food. They're
coming out for food.
High metabolism. But when you've got lots of them, they feel safe, they swim, they eat. That's where you get a little bit more success with them.
Yeah. Another fish on that same note that's more success in larger groups would be your cardinal fish. Your Bangai cardinals, I guess your pajamas, and then even like what are they called, gold lines, or the other smaller cardinal fish. I think they're one of the only true schooling fishes that we get in captivity, because a lot of them are just shoaling fish, which they just they have this weird social structure, and they shoal with themselves, shoal with others, and make themselves feel comfortable. But they're great. I love.
Tell me more
fish.
on the difference between schooling and shoaling. This is news to me, and I'm genuinely interested.
Yeah, so my understanding is that a proper school of fish, they're obviously quite large, but from my understanding, in the water, they all swim in the same direction. There's kind of that like big pack in numbers, if there's more of them, the better. And they move in the same way at the same time, whereas shoaling fish are more they move in different directions. They mix with other groups, so they're more social in that manner.
Right.
And fish, different species can shoal together.
Yep.
Well, that's
Like when you see those videos of like in Hawaii where you've got like hundreds of yellow tangs together, they wouldn't be schooling, they'd be shoaling. Is that right?
Well, I guess it depends. That if they're moving different directions and feeding different ways and all the rest of it, then they, I guess, could be considered a shoaling species as well. But obviously, we'll never get that in a tank unless you have a lot of money for yellow tangs, right?
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like the difference between just like a group of people and like a coordinated dance. Like the school are all doing the same thing at the same time. But everyone else is just standing there looking at various things at the same time. It's not coordinated at all.
I love the analogies on this show.
Got to bring everything back to a flash dance, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. But with the cardinal fish, they're so cool because they obviously are mouth brooders. That's another kind of like a selling point for me. I remember having big schools of Bangai cardinals, and I've got multiple pairs in a large tank, and they've got, some have got babies, some have got eggs in their mouth, and it's great.
It's so cool to see. Yeah, I love it when, particularly towards the end of that cycle, and Dad's jaw is like, it's hanging off his head. It's so full, and he spits him out to stretch his jaw, and then sucks him back in,
and they swim back in.
It's just wild, yeah.
Yeah,
and then you find them in random places. Like you'll find like a baby a week later in your sump, and you're like, "Oh, dude, how'd you get down here?" And they are ones that are marginally easier to raise, easier than clownfish, for instance, but still not super easy.
Yeah, I remember having lots of babies in a separate tank, and I was just like, how can I? Obviously, in the wild, these are. They go into sea urchins, the spines of sea urchins, and live in. That's where their protection is. So I rigged up this zip tie mess of just like zip tying them all together, and had all these little black spines, like a long spine sea urchin, and that was their home, and it worked really well actually. Found that online. I was like, that's good.
Another one I will say, but I'm not going to put this down as a recommendation for anyone to do. It's just something that I really like seeing, and like a harem of clownfish is something special, and it's not something that I don't think many people should try doing because it's not easy.
No, it's so hard.
But it's typical, especially when they're young and they do that ball. That's awesome. I love it.
The cheap and easy way to do that is to go to your local fish shop when they've just had a delivery of captive bred clowns. And they're all still little babies, and they're all in. You can have a look at that school for free.
Yeah. That's a good point. Or go to any of the shows where coastal clowns are, because they do that unreal. Yep. That's really cool.
Come and talk to Matt and have a look at that tank and see. 200 designer clowns all in the tank. Yeah.
Today we actually had our coastal clownfish delivery, and I was taking some photos and some videos of all these different clowns that we got in, and we actually had a good little group of what were they, Perks and Darwins and stuff, just balling.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Awesome. Yeah,
so cool. Yeah.
Did you end up splitting them up, or have you kept them together?
Kept them all together.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I think they're so much more like interactive as well. Like every tank, we've got maybe like a pair of Picassos or whatever else we have. But when we have like a big group of Perks or something like that, they don't just sit in the corner. Like they're all out and about and kind of thing. And they go so quickly as well that it's crazy to like take up 20 tanks with pairs of Perks. So you put them all in one tank, they're gone in a week anyway. So
nice. Yeah. And I'm guessing you're not catching them. So
not always, but
to be fair, clowns aren't the hardest fish to catch, so it's not too bad. But if you've got a big ball of them, someone says, "I want that one."
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So we done best in groups. What are some fish that are great for nanos? Those tanks, probably maybe 2 foot and under. Yeah. We know that we can't get a big unicorn in any of these. So what's the best option?
Definitely should not be putting big unicorns in there. No.
Yeah. I saw a video online of a blue tang, like a sub-adult blue tang in this. It wouldn't have been bigger than 30 litres.
Oh, man.
And it was like, check this out. And I had a pair of clowns and that in it. I was like, look, Finding Nemo. And I was like, oh my days. Yeah, so definitely no unicorns.
No,
I reckon all the
no.
small, obviously the small fish are what you're targeting there. So all the gobies,
Yes.
your clown gobies, your citron gobies, neon gobies. They're my favorite. I'd love to set up a little tank with just like little sets of those. Would be unreal.
They are busy little dudes, definitely.
Yeah,
And I think when we're talking nanos, it's not just the type of fish, but the number of fish as well. So, you know, we're talking about like chromis before and saying you probably need a dozen to 1.5 or even 2 dozen. You're not going to do that in a nano. So if you were desperate on a chromis, probably have one. If you put 3 in, they're probably going to kill each other off, which is not going to be good for anyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you got to remember these fish, they do grow. They're not stunted completely. The old wives' tale of a fish will only grow as big as its environment is not true, but it can impact its growth.
Oh, definitely.
But fish will not cope well, and they will stress if it's a too big of a fish that covers a lot of territory in a small tank. It'll stress. It'll get aggressive. It'll either get disease and die, or it'll get aggressive and wipe everything else out. So
Yeah.
pick carefully. I noticed after all of that, I haven't even specified one species of fish yet, which was kind of the point. But I don't know.
Buying time there so you could think of something, but it didn't even work.
Nah, you know what I'm like. I start talking and not know where I'm going. But yeah, clownfish are great. Otherwise, I mean, I talked before about damsels. I still stand by the fact that one of the coolest tanks I've seen in the literal thousands of tanks I've seen in my time was a display tank at Cairns Marine that had one type of coral and one type of fish in it. It just had a Dallas staghorn and had a school of those blue damsels with a yellow tail. Yep. Probably had 10, 15, something like that of them in like a 2-foot cube with just this green Dallas in the middle of it. And it looked freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Nano fish, I mean, it's kind of the combination. Obviously, you can't have massive fish. You talked about unicorns. Yes, it's physically not going to fit. It's going to grow a bit too big. Some other fish you can do, but you couldn't have anything else with the damsels. You can definitely do those gobies that Sam was talking about. They're awesome. But talk to your local fish shop. They'll guide you through it. There's some cool little blennies. There's things like the Royal Grammars. I find the Bangai Cardinals or Pajama Cardinals are cool. Nano fish, they're not massive territory swimmers. So, you know, they're happy just kind of hovering about. Trying to think what else is cool in a nano fish. There's some cool stuff out there. You can go it depends on what people call nano, but even some of the dwarf angels, if you want to sort of have one showpiece fish, sort of like your equivalent of a tang, you can go a dwarf angel in a somewhat more of a larger nano. I wouldn't put one in one of those 30-litre tanks you're talking about, Sam, but in a 100-litre tank, go a dwarf angel, awesome. Possibly even go a couple of them.
Yeah. I've got one, but there's a bit of a disclaimer with it. Like the tank needs to be established.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, your dragonets. I've fallen in love with dragonets, like your mandarins and your red scooters and all of those.
So cool.
They're so cool. Yeah. They have a bit of a presence about them. They're the highlight of the tank. No matter what tank I've seen, you have big fish, colourful fish, all kinds of crazy fish swimming around, but your eyes drawn to this psychedelic mandarin fish that just pops his head out for 2 seconds and then goes away again. It's just, I think it's because they're such a small fish, they're suited to a small tank where they're kind of front and center. Like you can find them, you see them, they do their thing. They're great for a small tank too, because like I said in the disclaimer that it needs to have an established tank. You can quite easily establish a small tank with pods and everything like that. But if you had like a 8-10 foot tank, establishing the rock with pods, and it's just going to take some time, and you're just not going to have a good success rate with those mandarins. But yeah, man, if I had a little tank, it would definitely have some kind of dragonet in it for sure.
Yeah, or a pair of them.
Pair's the best.
Pairs are available.
Have you seen the videos of the psychedelics doing that at nighttime when they do their spawning behavior?
I see it in person. It's the best.
Yeah, you got it. Every night, is it?
It probably is every night. I'll confess I don't catch it every night. They do it. They know like their body clock. Plus, I mean, the lights have the same pattern every day, so they know the last sort of 15 minutes of light. and you'll just catch them out swimming around, and then they do that little corkscrew spiral. And
Yeah, it's so cool.
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Other than that, the only other one that I think of, and I'm only going to say this because I actually recommended it to you, Sam, was something like if you were going to do like a little tiny predator tank, something like a little leaf fish or something like that. I think, or there's we got one in at the moment, a painted scorpion fish. They stay fairly small. I think they're just a cool little fish to kind of have.
Nice
They're
attitude on them.
different. You don't see them all the time. They're awesome.
Yeah, like frogfish and that as well, anglerfish, that whole group.
Well, the frogfish can get humongous, right?
They can.
Yeah.
But I think the leaf fish stay relatively small, and
there's different varieties of leaves, I think. Yeah.
They are cool.
So on the flip side of that, and I've already named one, a unicorn tang.
Yes.
What are some fish that just get humongous and should be avoided unless you have something the size of Polo Reef?
Damn, Polo Reef size.
Yeah.
This is where I almost need to do a Google search. I know Live Aquaria in the States, they went bust. Did their site get taken down, or does it remain active? Does anyone know? Because that used to be, when I was learning the different fish species, that was such a Bible for this type of fish. This is how big it gets. This is its temperament. It was so good for things like that. And every now and then I would jump on that site and just have a look at, like the big fish, and you'd see all these things and go, oh, yeah, there's some cool dudes in here that require, 10,000 plus litre tanks, which is something not many people do have.
Yeah. First one that comes to mind is any shark.
For sure.
There is sharks that should not even be really kept in and can't be kept in, your normal aquarium. There are
Absolutely.
fish that just don't stop swimming. So, or most of them, like you've got stuff like maybe like your epaulet sharks and your bamboo sharks and maybe even your wobbegongs and things like that just, bottom dwellers and stuff, but they still get
big.
huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Same as some of the rays, they get big.
Yeah, big. Yeah,
I guess adding
quite big diets too.
Yeah, exactly. Adding to the unicorn tang, one that always jumps out is the size that blue tangs, sohole tangs can get. Because you can get them quite small, especially blue tangs. They collect are quite small, but they do get very large, and soholes very aggressive.
Yes.
But they are
even
gorgeous.
stuff like there's Giardini sail fins and stuff like that. They get way bigger than what people think.
Massive,
way bigger than your head type thing. So
full dinner plate size. Like they're massive, particularly when they put those sails out. They're huge fish.
Yeah, I've seen some of them being filleted.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah, not in like Papua New Guinea and places. Like if they're big enough, you're talking, you might have a fish that's way bigger than a dinner plate. There's a solid fillet on that, and if that's what they get, they're gonna eat it.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
If you're in Melbourne, and I know both of you guys are not located in Melbourne, but if by some bad experience you end up at the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne, which typically do usually only end up there if something's gone horribly wrong for someone
Yeah.
But the one upside is they have this beautiful fish tank there, marine fish tank, that spans like 3 floors. And they do take in a lot of fish that get rescued. Basically, people have had them in their tanks at home.
Oh,
and they
really?
got too big. And the unicorn is an example that I can think of, because they've got some unicorns in there that they've got to be 2.5 feet long. They're massive.
Yeah.
And the actual unicorn itself would be an additional 6 inches long on top of that. Like it's not that little hump you see on the head in like your local fish shop or in some people's tank. It's massive. It's like the horn is the size of your foot. It's crazy.
Yeah. And especially when the tank's cylindrical, right? They just kind of cruise. Yeah.
Cruise around. And there's a lot of fish in that system that you will recognize and go, hang on, they get that big?
Yeah.
And that's where these fish often end up. So whenever you sort of think I'm dealing with a fish, he'll be right in my 4 foot. If you ever have a chance to see that tank and then you see how big they actually can get, you'll instantly recognize you will not be finding your 4 foot.
Yeah. Same goes for some of the larger angel fish, right? And obviously,
100%.
Jared, you're a bit of an angel fan, but you've got a large tank. But at what limit do you draw it for a 4 foot in terms of some of those big queen angels and blue faces and emperors and
Well, the beauty of a lot of angels, and I guess some tangs, is they do take some time to get to full size mature fish as well. So, but like I had a emperor angel that was, he'd be near the size of your forearm when he passed. So he's a big fish, and I knew at some point that I'm like, even though my tank's borderline 8 foot, I knew at some point that he was going to be rehomed. So if these are fish that you're like, I'll take the risk, I'll run the gauntlet, it's a fish I must have, you got to kind of also realize that it's not going to be with you forever either,
Yeah,
But
everything
one way or
dies, remember?
Correct. Yeah. There's some of these, for sure. Big French angels and things like that, they just get ginormous.
They do, yeah.
The other one as well, like the unicorn tang, it has, kind of a brother, which is the flamingi tang, which also has a bit of a nose, a unicorn nose on it as well. That's another one that just gets huge.
Just to confirm, I have just checked. Live Aquaria database is still up. I don't know on their
good news.
business status. Our American listeners might know more on that, but I can say that I used their fish listing from a purely non-business point of view, in that I've never bought, obviously, any fish from Live Aquaria that I'm based in here in Australia, and they're in America, but their database of what a fish looks like as a juvenile or as a male, as a female, what it looks like as a adult, its care requirements, how big it gets, where it's collected. It's a wealth of information, and I've particularly in my early days in the hobby referred to that non-stop when I'd go to my local fish shop and I'd be like, oh, what kind of angel is that? And I'd go through the pictures and go, oh, okay, yeah, that's an Eebly. Yeah, right. How big does he get? Yeah, okay, yep. This is where he's collected from. This is what is it compatible in a reef tank with caution, semi-aggressive? Yeah, maybe I'll leave him.
Yeah.
It was just real good, quick information that just at least weaned some choices out. You look at something and go, oh, it's not reef safe. Oh, don't worry about it.
You can pick those people at the fish shops too, that they're standing in front of the tank, but they're looking at the tank and then looking at their phone. So they're like, it's the one. Yeah. Oh,
no shame in that. Doing some self-research on site, nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. No, it's actually ideal, right?
You'd want that in a customer.
You want to be sure of what you're taking home. Like these fish, some of them aren't cheap. And you, as someone who runs a fish shop, we want you to be successful. We want that fish to live, and
100%.
We want you to come back being happy. So I'd much prefer you to jump on, sites like that and do your research, even if it is in front of the tank right before you're about to buy it.
Yeah. and looking at that site right now and talking about fish that get big, and I've seen them in a couple of reef tanks and sort of go, oh, I don't know if that's a good choice, is the batfish.
Yeah. Gorgeous juveniles.
Gorgeous juveniles. And I see them in more local fish shops than I'd probably like to see. They get huge, like massive. And I'm not sure if a lot of people realize how big they get, and also just how much they change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think when we talk about big fish though, like what is big, right? Because like I've seen, a blue tang that's 20 centimeters and people go, wow, that's huge. But when we're talking big, like we're talking things that like get 90 centimeters, like a mid-long type thing. So
yeah, massive.
Same as the big groupers, wherever you are in the world, whatever you say. Like we get a lot of these in quite small, right into Australia or collected here, and that they can get a meter plus easy.
Yeah.
Those are beyond big. Same as like you get little baby, trevally. Oh, they look great. Bang, they're a meter long. And
any fish that ends up at full size with a mouth big enough to like take in an adult sized fist is going to cause you problems.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to play well with many other fish.
Yeah.
Pretty much would look cool as well. We more recently got in a coral cod. When the guy come in to collect them, we had to kind of double check what size his aquarium was for him. And his tank was big enough, trust me. But so they come in, like 10, 20 centimeters, and you're like, geez, my tank can have this, but they get big quickly, and it's soon enough they'll be eating fish the size of your largest tang in your tank. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Yep, for sure.
This is a fun little one here. Fish with personality.
Yeah, so many in this category.
Yeah. I think a lot of them have been mentioned already. My little personality at home is my flame hawk.
Yep.
They're just so
very,
cool.
Very, very commonly described as being so full of personality. I know when people come to look in the tank and they try to find the flame hawk, by the time they found it, the flame hawk's already found them and it's perched somewhere staring back at them, seeing what they're doing.
Got these eyes watching them around the room.
Very comical eyes, yeah. Great personality. And there's something about, I don't know if it's a human nature and man's best friend or whatever, but they seem like a puppy. Just the way they sort of perch. They seem more like a puppy than they do a fish. Just very, very cool and character-filled fish.
Yeah,
another one
sure.
I'd add to that is very similar in personality, I find, to the flame hawk is a new one to me, and that's sand perchers. They're very, very similar in personality to the flame hawks, but I've got a flame hawk, a long nose hawk, a red spotted sand perch, and a regular sand perch, and they all play nicely together. There's no guarantee that'll work for you, but in my tank it has. And all four of those fish are crazy full of personalities. Really, really fun to see.
Yeah, they're not fish that I've ever kept, if I'm being honest. So
I hadn't even heard of them until about a year ago, and the brown, or just the standard sand perch, came into my local fish shop, and it kind of looked a little bit like a lawnmower blenny with a bit of a pointier nose. And I was like, "What are these like?" And my local fish shop was like, "Not really sure." And I went, "Great, let's pull the trigger on that then. What could possibly go wrong?" But no, he was fairly sure. He's like, "Look, it doesn't get massive. They're not aggressive. It might eat some snails or inverts, which, having already had hawks and things, is like, oh, they do that anyway." And an absolute ripper of a fish. And then literally the next weekend I went into the local fish shop and he had in some red spotted sand perch, and I was like, these ones are even prettier. I'm like, I don't want to risk upsetting my new favorite fish. Like, I absolutely love my sand perch. Adding a second one seems like a bad idea. But then 6 months later I was like, let's do that bad idea. And thankfully it's worked out a treat. They're best buddies.
A rainbow one.
A rainbow crackhead one.
3 rolls of the dice. What could go wrong?
They're cool.
Sand perch, absolutely love them. Could not recommend them highly enough.
One very, very similar to the flame hawk is also the lawnmower blenny. Does a very similar thing.
Absolutely.
And the perching in the tank, like my one just sits on everything. Clam, coral, doesn't matter what it is, it's going to sit on it. It's always watching. It will find you first. Yeah, exactly what Sam said.
Definitely. Yeah, they're cool fish.
Another one like that, maybe also not as much love, and you don't see them as often, but they're coral gobies, the little yellow guys.
Yep.
They're tiny, tiny little things, and they hide within acro and stuff. And same thing, they don't really swim. They just kind of perch themselves somewhere, but you just see their head just popping out and they're looking at you, which is fun, always fun. Kids love that.
It's so cute. And I guess if you go bigger, if you're talking bigger tanks, I feel like puffer fish are just like, they're just they really are puppies. Yeah. They can
very interactive.
Yeah. They can recognize you. They can follow you around the room. You can train them. Obviously not very reef safe, but they're cool. Yeah.
So, the porcupine puffers in particular, one fish that I know that will eat anything.
Yeah.
I'm talking like morphs, pallies, bubble tip anemones. They will eat anything. An absolute menace like that.
Yeah.
Such a cool fish.
Reef safe with caution, you're saying?
Is that what Live Aquarius is?
Just a hint of caution.
I know, doing some diving in Sydney, there used to be this massive porcupine fish, probably different species to what we get in the aquarium trade. But this thing was massive, and it used to live inside of a shopping trolley that someone had thrown in. So it was like
Oscar the Grouch.
I would snorkel this 3 times a week, and I would just snorkel down, 3-4 meters. Oh, yep, there he is, and he's just in his shopping trolley upside down.
That's where Tucker Bag got to. I wasn't sure what happened to him.
Yeah, but this thing was like massive, like pushing a meter size. We're talking. This thing was huge.
That's hectic.
Yeah.
So he barely fit inside the trolley. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. So
super cool. Imagine if he puffed up, these spikes would have like gone through like
picks
the
up the
cage of the
trolley.
That'd be a sight to see.
I should have pissed him off and seen what happened.
If you want something like a puffer, I guess you could always go down the boxfish, cowfish type route as well.
Yep.
They've got some kind of personality to them. They're very similar sometimes to a puffer.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
cool
not
fish.
one I've had experience with, but they've got slightly smaller mouths, so you wouldn't think they would eat as much coral. I say that.
Fingers crossed.
But they've also got that cool swimming pattern where it doesn't even look like they're swimming. They're just somehow gliding around a tank. And
that is impressive.
Yeah.
Another one that I forgot about for a moment there was the Watchman goby paired up, particularly with the pistol shrimps. Give a personality might be a stretch, but I guess they do have a personality. Maybe it's not as interactive with the humans outside the tank, but they have a personality in that they're always preparing their home and got that symbiotic relationship going on with the shrimp. And I know there are an expensive pair at times, particularly in some of the exotic colors, but pretty personality-filled combination.
Yeah, definitely. And it's that different dynamic in the tank as well, isn't it? It's just something different happening in a different spot and building their burrows and, excavating. It's cool to watch. Yeah,
definitely.
The one I've got, and it could be borderline if we'd call it something with personality, but I just kind of put it there because it's slightly different to every other fish. It just wants to be a little bit different, and that's the blue tang. And the reason being is because, I don't know, they just swim different to everything else. They get a little bit shy, and then all of a sudden they're sleeping on their side on the base of the tank because they're a bit freaked out. They look like they're dead, but then up they swim around again.
Incredibly dramatic fish.
Super dramatic. I've got one in my tank, and it chases surface bubbles around the tank. Like, he knows that they're not food, but if you watch him the entire time, all day, 24/7, he's just hitting the surface bubbles like the entire time. And
what a flip out.
Yeah. But like, that's what I mean. It's just a little bit different to everything else where they're like down in the center of the water column doing their thing. Food hits the water, they eat. He's up the top doing his thing. He's like just running amok. So.
I think I've watched Finding Nemo too many times because I see a blue tang and I just put, Ellen DeGeneres' voice and, just keep swimming.
Definitely.
One of them does chase bubbles in that movie from memory. I forget.
It's
Grammar or something.
Its name is Bubbles.
Yes.
And it's in The Tank Gang. Don't worry, I've watched this so many times.
The dentist.
The dentist. I believe it's a yellow tang, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
Yeah, and it's like bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Yeah, that's him.
I was sure, Jared, when you said there's one fish, I was like, you're going to be talking about your emperor angel, surely.
Well, yeah, I do want to mention him too, because I think he was just an exception as well. He was an actual puppy dog. You would put your hand in the tank and he'd come and kind of brush up against you like or more probably like a cat would. But the funniest thing that he used to do is when it was time to glue a frag in or cut a frag, he would swim up and an inch away from whatever you're doing would just watch your hand in gluing that frag down. He just wanted it, like, he was just like, this is my tank. I just want to inspect what you're doing. Like, kind of like a site supervisor on a construction site. He's just there watching.
Just making sure you're adhering to code.
Yep. Yeah. Take your hand out, and then he'd be back doing his thing. You put your hand back in, he's like, "What's going on now?" But they're not all like that either. Like we've got another emperor at work, and it doesn't really care what you do, and doesn't care about the other fish in the tank. I think it was just this one. It had its own personality, which is cool.
I feel like the longer you have them and the larger they get, I feel like they do get more like that.
Definitely. For sure. They eventually kind of warm up to you. They're like, this is my source of food. This is my friend. And, I'm intrigued to, see what they're doing.
Yeah. And they probably judging your fragging techniques too, I reckon.
Well, there was times where I did put frags in a certain area and then I'd find them, floating around down the bottom, being blown around by a wave maker. And I'm guarantee you it would have been him not liking my placement. So
He was not impressed.
Not
No.
impressed at all.
so we're going to move into more of the area where we've had trouble before, and this is the finicky eaters. There's lots of them, and I think a lot of people would be on the same page with us saying that, I just haven't had. I guarantee you there an exception out there that people that have had some of these fish for 10 years and I don't know what you're talking about. These fish are awesome. Have no problems, but there's a few.
Yeah, I think the one that always jumps out to me is the Moorish idol.
Yep.
That's one that I just feel like should just be kept in the ocean. They are so beautiful, and they're like with their long streamers, and they get large size, and the colors are so, stark contrasted that I think everyone is attracted to them. But
definitely,
if you've seen one in captivity long term, it's a rarity. Definitely,
it's rarity. I think the challenge with them is it's not just a challenge to get them eating, which is an immense challenge on its own, but then providing an actual diet that's going to sustain them long term seems to be the actual bigger challenge. And a lot of people don't even get to level 2. They're stuck on level 1. They can't really get it comfortably feeding all the time. They're challenging fish. So there's layers to that, and both of them are incredibly difficult.
I think if there wasn't an issue with them eating, they would be one of them fish that you would see near every person's tank. Like
Agreed,
they're so iconic. They're a beautiful, weirdly beautiful looking fish. They, their swimming pattern is quite nice. They're fairly peaceful. They tick every box, but they just don't eat well, and they get malnourished and skinny, and they die fairly quickly, I've found. But
they do also. They love to smash coral, and I can find can also be aggressive too. If you do get past all of those incredibly difficult challenges, they can go, great, I'm living a good life. I want to smash everyone.
Game on.
There's not a lot of upside to the Moorish idol. If you pass all the challenges, congratulations, you've got yourself an absolute monster of a fish.
One like Copper Ben, another one, beautiful fish. But along with Copper Ben, I'll probably put like a little bit of most butterflies, a lot of butterflies, like the long-nosed butterflies are notoriously pretty tricky as well.
Spot on. Yep.
You've got a lot of those little small, Red Sea butterflies, really, really tricky to get eating a lot.
I guess especially with the ones that are corallivores, like they only eat coral, obligate corallivores.
That's a definite level of complexity.
That's next level. That's you need a large tank and lots of coral to sustain them.
Which it's like in a closed ecosystem, it's realistically near on impossible.
And from what I found with a bit of research that I'd done previously is that the quality or the amount of energy that they get from coral is so small that they need to consume it continuously. They don't stop.
That's it.
Straight in, straight out. So
Yep. Which works all right in the wild where they've got paddocks of coral that just graze on all day, every day. But in our little, 4 foot by 2 foot tank, it tends to get through it pretty quick.
Also, another one, we just mentioned it before, but because you kind of need that established tank, the dragonettes, you need a healthy copepod.
Definitely.
Population in your tank for them to kind of be happy and continue feeding. Like, I think once you do have that copepod population, they're pretty good, and you keep dosing that phytoplankton to keep all of that alive and everything. You can keep them. They're not like what we're talking about, like with the Moorish idols and copper bands, where their time is limited.
No, they're definitely possible to keep long term, but unfortunately, a lot of the time they're put into tanks not suitable.
There's a lot of things as well that are they're hard to kind of get eating to start with, but once you get them eating, they're fine. You got stuff like we said it before. You got like your epaulet sharks and stuff, and a lot of your eels and stuff. They'll take a little bit of time before they actually start to accept a little bit of food, but
all of those predators, if you're wanting to get them onto prepared foods rather than feeding them live all the time, there's various levels of complexity to that. Some will adapt to it quite quickly. Others, it's a bit more of a slog.
I think a lot of people also think like predator tank, fairly easy. I'll just dump in 30 goldfish and, they're sustained, they're fine. But, there's fish there that will kind of go and hunt and they'll be fine. But then you have fish that, like an eel, like a epaulet shark or things like that, that they won't really go hunting down things. They want, a little bit of prawn waved in front of their face. It's almost like they're blind to an extent. So,
Definitely.
Put them in a glass box at home and they're all like, where am I? Oh, there's a prawn in front of my face.
I should think about that for a while.
I feel like another one in the finicky eaters that we've spoken about before, the antheas.
Yes.
I feel like they might just have a mention here just because obviously they've got very small mouths. They feed a lot and you need to feed them very frequently. And on a new tank, if there's not many of them, I don't think they feel like they have people to like learn off, and they just it'll just float in front of their face and they'll just look at it. But feeding frequently for a finicky eater, it's very important. Very important.
Absolutely. And on that similar sort of category, although it's not so much frequent, but definitely on the topic of finicky eaters, is your seahorse, pipefish combinations there. Seahorse would have to be one of the most finicky eaters that I've ever seen, in that you can have a tank at your local fish shop where there's one seahorse in it, and you put some mysis shrimp in there and it sits there right in front of the seahorse's face, and he just wants to look at it and think about it for about 30 minutes before going, I might have a bite of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by that time, they're starving.
You can be on the, like, he's almost see-through. He's that skinny. And it's like, bro, eat. It's just, they're so weird. It's a complete opposite end of the spectrum to pretty much every other fish we have in our tanks, where, that they will eat every skerrick food before it's had a chance to move, 3 centimeters on the water column. Something about seahorse and pipefish, they just want to really assess that food for so long. And I guess they're not necessarily a finicky eater. They will eat, but they just don't handle competition for food. They need to look at it and think about it for a long time. And unless your other fish are going to give them that opportunity, which I don't know many other fish that will, I'd put them into that category with the others as finicky eaters.
Yeah, pipefish especially. I worked on a project collecting pipefish out of a place in Sydney. Won't disclose the name, but collecting them and taking them back to the tanks. And it was actually the last project that I did before I went into teaching. And I remember I had about 10, 12 pipefish, adult pipefish. Turns out that there was about 5 pregnant males.
Say what?
Yeah. So obviously, if you don't know anything about seahorses and pipefish, the males are the ones that give birth. So, and they release huge amounts. So overnight, we came in the next day to find out that they had given birth, and we went very quickly from 12 to probably about 10, maybe even 100 times.
Wow.
We had hundreds and hundreds of these baby pipefish, and everyone was freaking out because it was just like, they are hard to feed. These are babies. What do we do? And lucky for us, we had a pipefish expert in the lab. So,
look at you guys.
Yeah, they took them on hand, and then they went to, the Sydney Institute of Marine Science, and they were all flagship species, and they had heaps of them, and it turned out well. But getting them feeding was the hardest part.
As you say, incredibly difficult to get eating fish, and that's when they're mature. I can only begin to imagine there's babies. So yeah,
exactly.
What a challenge.
Another one I'll add to it is firsthand I've experienced, and it's just any angel that is worth a little bit of money.
Yeah,
just to torture you.
I've tried many angels, and I don't think I've ever watched any fish, whether they're eating or not, as close as I have with things like, queen angel, French angel, rock beauty, all those types of fish. Like, I'm just like, come on, guys, you got to start eating at some point. Like, you're worth a pretty penny. Let's get this going, So
yeah.
Isn't that funny? It's always, you're exactly right, the ones that are worth the most money or rarely collected. And you finally get them
Absolutely.
and you're like, eat that damn food.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. To the point where I'm almost like, I'm going to catch you out and just jam a little bit of food in your mouth and like move your lips up and down. Like,
Chew for the fish.
Yeah, you shouldn't be bird feeding fish. You've got your species mixed up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Chewing their food and then spitting it in their mouth. No. You're not mama bird.
He tried anyway. We know it. We know you did, Jared.
Mices.
Delicious. So the underappreciated fish.
So many.
There's so many here, but let's pick a few and talk through them.
I'm going to go with a broad couple of statements, and this will vary depending on which geographical location you are listening to this from. But I find anything that's cheap or anything that's commonly available in your area, often people turn their nose up to, and it's so silly. It doesn't make the fish any less beautiful, doesn't make it any less personality filled. In fact, quite often some of the cheap fish are just the coolest fish and so much fun. It doesn't need to have 4 or 5 digits in its price point to make it a cool fish.
Yeah, on the same path as that, I've had a number of bristle-tooth tangs, scopaz tangs. They are absolutely gorgeous. And
so pretty.
I think it took me a while to realize, you're exactly right. You kind of see them everywhere at all the shops because they're collected locally. They're usually the cheapest, and you just overlook it.
100%.
Yeah. But for me, the scopaz tang,
such a pretty fish, and they're so cheap. They're like even in today's fairly inflated price points, they can be like a $60 to $80 fish for a absolutely stunning tang that's, for a tang, about as peaceful as it gets. Super utilitarian. Stays pretty small too. Can be suitable for smaller tanks. Such a cool fish, but because you see them everywhere and because they're cheap, people are like, scopaz.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I had scopaz on my list too. Like you get it under the right light. I think under blue light, fully, they kind of just disappear. They just turn into a nothing fish. But
a lot of fish do under blues, to be honest.
Yep. But under probably a little bit more of a wider spectrum. I don't know that there's just something about them that you just, I don't know, you don't appreciate until you kind of sit there and actually look at it and go, this is actually quite a beautiful fish.
Oh, stunning.
Like it's brown. Right. And I think brown is pretty commonly, not a desirable color, but I don't know. It's got a pattern to it. It's got a shape. It does everything. Yeah.
It's like a fresh fade too on a haircut. It just, the fade through the body of the fish is stunning.
Yeah. And like the 2-spot bristle-tooth, like the bristle-tooth tangs I was talking about before, same boat for me. They just probably under the right light. You're probably right there, Jared. But the intricate patterns and the dots and stripes and lines and they're cool, and they serve a purpose, a very good purpose. They smash algae, so
so I will go another way here, and like I'm going to put this whole species in rabbit fish.
Fair cool.
Like even your common foxface, your magnificent foxface, coral rabbitfish, your barred rabbitfish. Like
gold spot rabbits.
Some of these rabbitfish, if you look closely, they have some of the nicest patterns, some of the nicest colors. They they have these really hidden patterns on some of them too that you don't really appreciate until you kind of really look at them closely. People go on and on about like a yellow tang, like it's a bit of pop, bit of color, but arguably a foxface gives the exact same contrast in a tank with that yellow.
I would say arguably it's a better yellow.
And they get bigger.
With a black and white face as well. They get big. They eat algae. They'll eat bubble algae. They're
less likely to box on with other tangs.
They'll box on with themselves. I've seen them do that.
Mixing rabbitfish can be a bit of Russian roulette, but they're less likely, I won't say it's a guarantee, but they're less likely to fight with other tangs.
Yeah. And one of my favorite fish actually is the coral rabbit fish, which is like a yellow fish with like these lighter blue spots on it. And
Oh,
it is a beautiful rabbit fish. It's 60, 70, $80, not much.
yeah.
Constantly grazes on algae. Got a nice pattern to it. Like it's a beautiful fish. They come in the shop. I order them because I love them, right? They come in the shop and they sit there and I go, what am I missing? Why are these not getting the love? Like, it's the right price. It's color. They do. What?
Everyone that comes in a bespoke, Jared's like, have you seen these rabbit
Yeah.
fish?
Looky
Aren't they
here.
stunning? How many would you like? 3, 4?
Yeah.
I don't get it, but maybe
Yeah,
it's just me. I think this is a personal category here that we're talking about, like underappreciated. But for me, yeah, rabbit fish for sure.
Yeah, I've seen some giants. Like I know a local reefer, local to me, is trying to get rid of some gold spot and another type of fox face that are 30 centimeters plus.
Damn.
So yeah, they do get big. So that, disclaimer there that obviously, very underappreciated, but can get large over time. Very large.
Absolutely.
The first one that made me change my mind actually was Cam's at Gallery Aquatica. His peninsula that he had there at Wynnum. He had a gigantic, I think it was a gold spot rabbit. And it was the first time that I looked at a rabbit fish in a different way. Like I was kind of like, hold on a minute. This thing's gorgeous. Like I've bypassed these at every single shop, just another rabbit. But then I saw this thing and I'm like, wow, I gotta get me one of those. That's a beautiful fish. So.
And it might have been under the right lighting as well. I feel like they need the right lighting to really
It's
pop.
another one that just hidden under blue lights for sure.
Yeah, good one.
I got one more for that category, and I feel like I'm only able to recently comment on that, and it's another fairly broad stroke. I'm just going to say wrasse, full stop. I early on I didn't have a lot of success with wrasse, so I tend to ignore them as a species for a long time, and that's probably because when I say early days, I still had a tank for a few years, but I tried some fairly high end wrasse, and when you lose, as we all unfortunately know too well, if you lose a fairly expensive fish, you're like, done with that for a while.
Yeah.
Took me years before trying just a couple of cheaper wrasse, more commonly available wrasse that I will put my hand up and say, just like I said before, because they're commonly available and cheap, and sort of overlooked them. Adding them into a well-established tank now, absolutely love them. Give a completely different look, swim pattern, characteristics, do a really good utilitarian job of just continually grazing around the rocks. You get some beautiful coloured wrasse for not a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, there's some that can go for, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, but there are plenty below $100 that look ridiculously cool.
Yeah. They're all in like a lot of the fairy wrasse. They are stunning. Yeah. If you haven't seen fairy wrasse, listeners, just Google fairy wrasse poster. I think there's one that always comes up, and they've merged them all into one poster.
Yeah.
And the majority of them are collected in Australia. They're cheap.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're stunning.
Flashes as well.
Oh, yeah.
Flashes. Yeah. Flashes
Dominant.
are cool.
The males, the big proper flashes, they're cool.
Yeah. And there's some even in the categories like I'm not going to say they're an easy fish, but they're a beautiful fish. The red leopard, which is really only found, I think, on the east coast of Australia, which means it's right in our backyard. It's a fish that is very local to us, and is very highly desired around the world. I wouldn't say it's underappreciated here, but I don't think it's appreciated to the level it should be. We sort of go, we see them everywhere. Not that phased.
Yeah, I haven't had too much success with leopard wrasse personally, but
are a difficult fish.
Yeah. They're so cool though.
I think despite being a pretty small fish, I think they need a pretty big tank just to have the environment for them to cruise around and peck away at and sort of graze all day. But I should probably stop now because I absolutely am not speaking from any sort of position of experience. I've had my leopards for about 2 months. But so far, so good.
One that you might be able to comment on, Sam, that is one of my underappreciated fish that you have in your tank is the marine beta.
Oh, great call.
Yeah.
And I think everyone that has one highly appreciates them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't know they exist, because even when your local fish shop does have them in, it doesn't parade around the tank like other fish.
Exactly.
So people don't even know they're in the tank.
Yeah.
But it's could not appreciate it anymore.
Yeah, especially when they're
cool
comfortable
fish.
and they just they actually move around the tank on show.
Yeah.
Then they really show off their colors.
That's the thing that makes them so. They make you earn, or you have to earn their appreciation, in that you have to put in the work to get them to the point where you actually see it for more than 3 seconds a month. And once the fish is to the point where it actually sees you and swims out to you, or it knows it's not far from dinner time and it starts pacing up and down the tank, that's a real happy moment in reef keeping time. So good call on that fish.
Yeah.
Going back to the wrasse,
Yes.
I'm going to give them the credit to this episode, the Fish Volume 2, right? Because
Damn, full credit.
Credit to the
I
wrasse.
thought Aquaculture Kings got that. They're our sponsor.
Yes.
Yeah. And Monsoon Aquatics. What about them?
Of course. Monsoon Aquatics sponsor the season. Aquaculture Kings sponsor the episode. Nah, Russ, you get the nod. Tell us, Jared.
Yeah.
So coming into Bespoke, like when we sat down and spoke about some changes that were going to happen around the shop, we all come up with the idea that some new tanks had to come into the shop. And the first tank that was going to come in was because it was the first available, was the Red Sea. And I just said to the guys, I'm like, I want to do something different. You know, we see mixed reef tanks with some tangs everywhere you go. You know, it's a staple now. And I want to go down a different path with this tank. What do you guys recommend? And a few of them just went, let's just get some cool wrasse. Yeah. And I've always been, because I've got bare bottom, wrasse have just never been a fish for me.
Yep.
And like I've had, Melanaris and 6-line and stuff because they do a job. They don't need the sand and everything.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, let's do some wrasse. So we just started getting some wrasse in. And as we're getting them in, I'm like, wow, that thing is stunning.
Yeah.
And it's $60 retail. Like
that's the thing. They're so cheap.
Yeah. Like gorgeous fish. Like great prices. And like, so we now have, I don't know, 10, 15 wrasse in this Red Sea tank, and they're all different kinds, different colors. They, sometimes you don't see them because they're hiding, they're burrowed underneath the sand, and then the next day they're there. And so, it's a bit of a surprise that they're up and about. But man, like I kind of looked at that tank and went, the last episode kind of steered me to doing this tank like this because I was just so stuck in my ways that I'm like, not my tank at home.
Yep.
It's a tank that we want to showcase some different things and get some people, to broaden their horizons, and the wrasse opened my eyes, definitely. So that's why I went, let's do volume 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that tank I've seen, Jared, and you're exactly right. It is stunning with the wrasse. And I remember walking in when it was originally being set up and I hadn't seen it with fish, and I had to do a double take. I was like, did I just see that many wrasse in one tank? But it is, it's something every head's going to turn for. It's cool.
Yeah, and even like coral wise and stuff like that, we're going down a different path with it. And like at the moment, it's getting there, but we just wanted to do something a little bit different. Like we're not reinventing the wheel by any imagination. I'm sure people have done wrasse tanks, with Scullies and Desh and stuff before. That's not a big deal, but I don't know, like just getting the wrasse in and being excited by opening a box to go, what does this lightning wrasse look like? What is this checkerboard wrasse? I'd seen pictures, but seeing a fish in person in your tank under light and seeing their personalities.
Particularly wrasse, like you were talking before about flasher wrasse, like seeing a picture does not give you the full picture of what how they look when you see their colors turning on and off like that, and when they interact when there's other fish in their territory or when there's food in the tank. That's what makes wrasse really cool, I think, is how they can change it up quite a bit.
Yeah, and the swim pattern, and they flare their fins, and
yeah, wicked.
Definitely.
You get some really cryptic ones as well, and you don't see them. Like we've got a possum wrasse in there, and I have people go, "Where'd the possum wrasse go?" And I'm like, "He's in there."
Yeah,
they come in the following week. Yeah, he's in there still, but they just hide. So wrasse. I love them now, but I
Yeah.
can't have them in my home tank, but I've got them at work, and
All the more reason for you to go that path on the work tank. Do something you can't have at home. Keeps it fresh for you too.
yeah. Well, you guys know, like I'm a guy that always wants to kind of learn more about this hobby and push some boundaries and stereotypes and all that kind of stuff. And I can't do any of that if I just keep falling back on the same thing all the time. My home tank needs to be what I'm passionate about, and that is, SPS and angels. So that's where I'm going to go. But if I could have 30 tanks at home, then they would all be something very different. So I can kind of experiment at work a little bit, which is cool.
Definitely.
It's cool to have that outlet.
It is. It is. And it's cool to have people kind of comment on it and go, you know what? I would have never even thought of doing a tank like this. You've convinced me to try something new,
You're a madman.
which is cool, because I don't know, like I'm not getting sick of seeing mixed reefs with tangs, and it's a staple. They're there for a reason because they tick every box. They do everything you need them to do, but get that one person who goes, yeah, I might do something a little bit different too. I like that idea, go out of the box a little bit. And I think when we have people who do that, we learn as a hobby, we learn more as well. Like there's been so many times where people have gone, that fish does not work with that fish, or that fish is, reef safe with caution. And then people actually go, well, let's test that theory. And then they go, well, you know what? It's perfectly fine in a reef, or that fish doesn't go well with that fish, and yep, confirmed. So,
Yep.
What about some mistakes, some common mistakes when it comes around fish? I know throughout the episode we've already tackled a lot of it with probably what fish to steer clear of because they don't eat well, what fish to steer clear of because they're huge. But what have we missed? Is there anything there?
One that just comes to mind is probably overstocking a tank too quickly. Because I think you're right. We've mentioned all the other things in that regard, but I feel like putting too many fish too quickly into a system can shock a new system very quickly, especially if you're going, I need a dozen chromis, to pad out the aggression, to keep them in a nice shoal, etc.
Yeah.
And you add them all at once, it can be a shock to the system. And I think when you get that bit of a, I don't know, you want more fish and you want more fish and you keep going back for more, it can spiral pretty quickly. So don't overstock it too quick. That's
Definitely.
it's one that comes to mind.
The only thing I would add to that, and it's on a very similar vein, and it's something we have discussed in previous episodes, if we've got some repeat listeners, is to have a bit of a plan. The more watertight your plan is for where you want to end up with the tank, and that pays extra dividends when you're talking choosing fish. Sometimes fish are not compatible. Sometimes they are compatible, but only in a particular order. Or maybe it's not even about compatibility, but just improving your odds. Everything in this hobby is really a calculated risk of some sort. And I know I'd rather be on the 90% side of success rather than the 10% side of success. And to get to that 90% side of success, if it means I put fish A in before fish B, well, let's do that. So trying to have a bit of an idea as to where you want to end up, the fish you want to have. I understand. I do it myself, and I mentioned in this episode alone that I put the sand perch in with a fairly impulse purchase. So I completely appreciate that happens, but the more you can be prepared and the more you can stick to that plan, the better your odds are going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
To your impulse purchase, talking to that a little bit more as well. Like I think impulse perching a fish can be fine as long as it kind of fits in with the list that you've kind of given yourself.
Yeah.
But also, like, I wouldn't ever, like, if you've told yourself, all right, today I'm heading into my local fish shop, I've got money burning, my hole in my pocket, buying a fish.
Yep.
And you get there and there's fish that you like, but it's a bit too big. You haven't seen it eat. This one's got a big gash in its side, whatever.
Yep.
Leave the impulse alone at that point and just go, I'll come back next week and see if it's eating then, or if that wound is healed, or even, you know what, I'll talk to the guy who runs the shop and say, I like this fish, that blue tang that you've got up there, that fits my list. He's a bit too big. The next time that you're doing an order, can I pay for it now? Can you order me something maybe a little bit more medium sized than, that big jumbo that you've got up there? So, and most of the time they can, as long as you're willing to wait 2 weeks until they put that order in or something like that. They definitely may do that for you. But yeah, just taking home a fish because you've told yourself you're taking home a fish that day can be, you can resent the fish at the end of the day. He's just too big. He's just too.
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't going to eat because he wasn't eating at the shop. Why did I bother doing that? And 2 days later, he's gone. So that could be.
Yes, impulse can be a very bad thing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's everything we've got on our list, and I hope that people are a little bit happier with me. I revealed no list of mine in that episode. I've just spoken to all the fish that I like and love. So get used
Jared
to it.
has now comprehensively spoken about every single fish you will find in any ocean on planet Earth. That is the list. Anything outside of that, doesn't exist.
Volume 3 should be entirely wrasse, I reckon. What do you reckon? There's so many of them.
There's so many.
Twinkle in his eye. He's ready for it.
The coolest thing as well with wrasse is it is the largest list on any suppliers.
This is true. There's so many varieties.
The list, there's maybe 10 different tangs on there. There might be 8 different angels. There is 30 or 40 wrasse on most of these lists, and but a lot of things like harlequin tusks and everything also come under wrasse and things as well. Anyway, that's our list of fish and where we recommend them and don't recommend them. So I hope that helps, or at least it's entertaining to listen to us just talk about some fish.
And if you think we're wrong, that's fine. Tell us. We're learning too.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, we don't profess to know everything. We're
absolutely not.
We're there's a couple of dudes talking about reefing and fish and coral and everything else we can think of.
Don't let our lucky guesses at the trivia questions lull you into a false sense of security that we have any qualification. Well, actually, Sam Philp does have some qualifications, but the rest of us don't have any reason to know what we're talking about.
No.
You guys are still nailing that, by the way. So,
so before we're going to get to this Aquaculture Kings giveaway, but before we get to that, episode 28 coming up in 2 weeks' time. And we're going to talk about fragging.
Oh, nice.
So maybe when we talk about fragging, we're not just talking about getting your coral nippers in there and just snipping off some branches here and there. We're going to talk about fragging, like proper fragging.
Yeah, men fragging.
Men fragging, getting the dance floor out and actually ollies and all kinds of things.
I feel so emasculated. I just put my bone cutters down and I'll be quiet. No, I'm joking.
But yeah, I think when everyone thinks of fragging, that's what they think of. Like I go in, I bonsai a little bit, or I trim this back so I can have a little bit more swim space. But there's another side of fragging where we've got places like Sustainable Reefs, Monsoon, all of these places, CDU, that frag
commercially
to aquaculture, and sustain our reefs and all that kind of stuff and export. And so there's a whole other side, and we could have potentially a special guest for this one. I won't give too much away, but
I'm guessing someone in the fragging scene at to continue my lucky streak of trivia guesses.
That might be 1 point there, Sam.
It's the easiest point I'll ever get.
Yeah, it could be.
Well, it'd be pretty silly if we had someone in that was an expert on pumps or something, and for the fragging episode, that would, probably not be the wisest choice. But
I'm ready to learn some things.
Yes,
so am I. Yeah, definitely. So that comes up in 2 weeks' time. Episode 28, we'll be talking about fragging. But
Nice.
Right now, we have an Aquaculture Kings prize pack to give away.
Very good.
Mariah has been running this thing in the background, all evening while we've been
talking. She's been working,
talking away, and she's found a winner. So for everyone that didn't get on for this one was run through Instagram, and we put up a question on Instagram: was what did Sam Parker think that Juno's dog's name was?
Yes. There was a few suggestions from the three of us that went up that were all incorrect. But what was my guess that was also incorrect?
Yep. So the correct answer was Chico, is what you said, Sam.
Yes.
And
correct answer, but not the correct name, but the correct answer. Which is slightly confusing, but it's okay. There's plenty of people that entered correctly, so not too confusing, obviously.
Yeah. And the winner of the first Aquaculture Kings giveaway is Dushi Vithya, or Dushi,
nice.
maybe. Sorry if I've butchered that name there, but Dushi or Dashi Vithya, thank you very much. You are the winner of our first Aquaculture Kings prize pack.
Congrats.
We'll be in touch with you.
Very good.
Congratulations. We'll be in touch to get some details off you to get that pack away to you. So if you're hearing this for the first time, I imagine hopefully you're listening to this episode right now and on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. and you're getting a surprise to hear that you've won. So congratulations.
Good. No, I'm pretty sure if I've got my names correct, that's a father-son reefing duo down here in Melbourne. So that'll be going to some very excited reefers, I think.
Excellent. That's great to hear. Yeah. Awesome.
Very good. And what about a shout out to the guys at Aquaculture Kings, producing right here in Australia some very innovative reefing products, high quality, well priced, fantastic post sale support, and made here in Australia. Why get stuff from overseas when we've got the best right here, made by hobbyists for hobbyists? Jump on their website, aquaculturekings.com.au. Have a look at their range of products. I've been fortunate enough to play with their Fido reactors, their copepod reactors, and I'm also now having a little play with their a product called Anabiolica. I think if I'm pronouncing that right, it's a bacteria-based product, a food vitamin enricher. Just, a lot of frozen foods get radiated, obviously, and they lose a lot of their nutritional value. The guys have made a drop that you can put on your frozen food to get a lot of that goodness back in there. And even starting to have a look at things like their aminos and some of their trace elements. So they've got a vast array of products out there, and all that I've had my hands on so far have been incredible quality. And like I said, it's Aussie made for Aussie reefers. So jump on their website, check out the range.
Heck of a website too. They've done a little bit of work. Someone there is in IT or whatever.
They seem to have everything.
They've
got it down pat, doing good work.
Yeah. And thank you to everyone else who entered, answered the correct question. From what I saw, everyone answered the correct answer. Maybe some people answered the wrong things and then changed when they saw the correct answer. You all went into the running anyway. So thank you for taking the time to get on our Instagram and join. And you've got 3 more chances to win again after this.
Yeah, that's the beauty. Yeah. This is only round 1 of 4. Lots of opportunities to win.
Yeah. And like always, Instagram's just starting to take off. Facebook has been around for a little while, but if you're not on either of these, you're really missing out because we drive a lot of our, not just our prize packs and information, all that kind of stuff, but it's where we're kind of answering a lot of questions and where we're kind of talking with listeners and stuff as well. And also, we need to talk about in a few episodes' time, probably 3 or 4 episodes from now, we've got an episode coming up where it's all the listeners. So
All
through
their questions.
Facebook
Yeah.
and Instagram. We're going to ask you for all of your questions, and we're going to answer them on the podcast. So if you're not on Facebook and you're not on Instagram, then you won't have a chance to kind of ask us any of the questions that you have. So
yeah, it's our channel for interaction with the listeners. Both of those platforms. That's where you can get in touch with us, and we can get in touch with you. So if you want to have some input into the content we have on this channel, be involved in some of the giveaways, and even possibly have your questions answered, that's the best way to get hold of us.
Yeah. So that's it. That's an episode in the bag, episode 27.
27, done and dusted.
Done and dusted, talking about fish. We hope it was an entertaining one for you. It was fun for us. I enjoyed talking about the fish today.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
I love fish.
Yeah, like I said,
I love fish.
love fish. Yeah, milk.
I might even buy a t-shirt. Yeah.
So like I said before, episode 28, a couple of weeks' time, fragging. Make sure that's another one that you listen in for. But that's all we've got time for today. And thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. See ya. Bye.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to catch us again in a fortnight for the next episode. Find us on all our socials for more updates.